of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class and it'll be out soon.
One of these days, I am going to change the ending. I don't know, because that's such a cool video, being at the Capitol during a realtor lobby day, which Illinois has, 19,000 realtors. I can't even tell y'all how many realtors were there, because I wasn't part of the planning committee to even know how many realtors showed up, but I could tell you that there were thousands. We were in this huge banquet hall where, you have to open one area, open another, and it looked like a massive football court of realtors. Georgia, good. And I wanted to run up on the stage, or just get on the stage and get the microphone and just ask all of those realtors there, who knows how to house a homeless veteran? I want everybody, every realtor in this lobby day dining hall to come to the stage. You know how to house a homeless veteran. Come to the stage right now. Well, I didn't have the opportunity to do that because I wasn't speaking on the stage. So, and it was still bothering me. Can you show the books again? I'm going to get to that, but they're in my bio, and I'm on a live with a lot of people, so I'm not going to just answer questions like that real quick. So stick with me though. Stick with me. So, and this is important for you too to know, Gloria, in New Mexico, to know how all of this will work in your favor. So after the luncheon and the talking of the people on stage was over, the ceremony was over, then we were walking to the next area of the state of Illinois Capitol. We were in Springfield, Illinois, for Realtors Lobby Day, where we talk to the politicians who could have a voice in passing this bill, because this bill protects the public, protects us as realtors working with the public, you guys. So these bills, had things to do with, I don't know, whatever that can help. But in my mind, I'm always thinking about veterans. Thank you, T. I'm always thinking about veterans, and how can we as realtors service veterans better, homeless veterans. And my realtor colleagues will say, oh, that's so nice. You're so nice. You're housing homeless veterans. That's so nice. Do you get paid for doing that? And my answer is always yes. I can't be a realtor and not get paid. My demographic just happens to be homeless veterans. That's my niche market, as the community says it now. So, and I've been housing homeless veterans for more than 22 years. I want to say 23, it could be 24, but it's been a long time. And I've learned a lot in those 22 plus years, yes, doing God's work in housing a lot of homeless veterans and using the resources that they have and helping them find resources so that they can use for housing or for any other thing that they need. We have so many resources in our community, but you've got veterans who aren't um, capable or skilled or informed, or no, just they don't know where to go. They don't know who to ask for help, because as a former homeless female veteran, I would go to where we're supposed to go. We're supposed to go to the VA. The VA, the social workers there, the case managers there, the RN nurses there, the psychiatrists there, everybody is there in that hospital, but nobody could house a homeless veteran. I would go there from 1987 to 1993 and get turned around each and every time. And that's the same thing that's happening today. And that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still here as a realtor, creating transactions to house these homeless veterans with the resources they have in the community from the VA. So I'm walking down the street going to our next event. And I'm like, look at all these realtors in Illinois. And we have all these homeless veterans in Illinois, not just the city of Chicago. I'm talking about rural Illinois, where they have resources, they have access to resources, but don't know how to access those resources. That's where your advocacy comes in. If you know you have a lot of homeless veterans in your area, go to where they are. Go to where they are. And then have a conversation. Why are you homeless? What benefits do you have? Find out what they need. If they need benefits, then you have to know how to help them get those benefits. That's advocacy. When you help them get those benefits, then you help them get housed. Because what's going to happen is, if those benefits aren't coming straight from the VA, even though they're going to need to see a social worker so that they can get a homeless letter. Oh, so it's a lot. It's a lot that goes along with this. So they have to have the homeless letter in order to apply for the homeless services. What are these homeless services? A bunch. So I'm here not to break down each of those homeless services or any of all of this stuff, because it's a lot. And I'm just going to start sharing information with you. But the first thing I do want to tell you is to go to my bio and look at my educational publications, because over 22 years, now that I know how to write stuff down and put them in books, that's what I started to do. So all of these books that you see here, in addition to these, and this one, all of these books are in my bio. So some things you may not get an answer from me. The answer will be, it's in a book. And go get the book. I don't want to think anybody here does not read, and that saying is true. If you don't want anybody to know, put it in the book. I want to know that you guys are here because you want to learn. That's what I believe. And I'm hoping that's the truth. Now, some people on YouTube, they're like those trolls. They come and say stuff. I'm like, okay, you're blocked, but I don't have any today. So, an advocate, and what? And we I don't know what you're talking about. Somebody. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. Hello, Anthony. Thank you all for being here. My name is, I don't have a bundle. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I tried. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the subject matter expert in veterans, homelessness, housing, and I also write for Mission Roll Call. So if you are on, just go to the website Mission Roll Call, and you'll see my article that was put out today. Is actually my story and how I got here after 22 plus years of housing over 5,000 homeless veterans nationwide. Yeah. So that's how I know if I can do it, you can too. As a realtor, as an investor, as a concerned citizen. It doesn't take a whole lot of work either, Tia. Once you know what you're doing, it's like anything. You want to learn how to ride a bike, get on that bike. I remember I used to babysit my neighbor's daughter, Marissa. And Marissa wanted to ride a two-wheeler. And I said, okay, well, we have to take the training wheels off. And once we take the training wheels off, I don't know how to put them back on. I'm a girl. So she said, okay, mama, take them off. So I took them off, and I was on a two-wheeler. Some other kids, because I would take all the kids in the neighborhood, whoever wanted to go on this little bike ride. They would have their scooters, their bikes, their whatever they were riding. So we were riding, and Marissa was crying, oh, Mom, I can't do it. I said, Marissa, I told you, you have to keep trying. I don't have the training wheels, and I don't know how to put the training wheels back on the bike. You know how we use reverse psychology. But it was true. You have to keep at it. You have to get on that bike. In other words, get a book, read that book, stay on that, stay on it, stay on it. Keep pushing those feet, push your feet, push your feet. Now put your feet up, get another book, because now you're about to take off, but you still need to know how to stop. You need to know how to speed up, right? So that's in another book. So make a long story short, before our bike ride had really began, because we had to wait on Marissa. We had to wait on, we couldn't leave Marissa. So I took him in a parking lot, and I said, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Just like I'm telling you all, you can do it. You can do it. All you got to do is keep on trying, get a book and read a book, keep on trying, get a book, read a book. So now her dad comes home that night, and he sees her riding around the neighborhood with the kids. Yeah. So that's the moral of the story is keep trying, get a book, and that's how you learn. Get on that bike and keep going. 22 years, there isn't one question that you can ask me that I can tell you all that you need to know to do this work in this business. I'm a realtor. I'm a contractor. It depends on what you want to do to start. I don't know what you want to do. So I don't know what you want to do. So you got to tell me what you want to do. It's a lot of work. And you know, I'm going to tell you that because if this is something you've never done, then you have to learn it. Sergeant Wolf, I'm going to talk about your situation here in a moment too. Because of people in Charlottesville, Virginia, realtors and investors and the social workers at the VA and the case manager at the housing authority. If any of them knew how to do what I do, this veteran who's been homeless for 2.5 years, who had a HUD-VASH voucher terminated because she couldn't find a place quick enough. And why couldn't she find a place quick enough? Because everybody kept denying her. So I'm like, how was I able to house over 5,000 homeless veterans? And not one and this is nationwide, and not one person in Virginia can do it. That's because they're limited on their knowledge. We've got laws to protect veterans. And in addition to that, we have investors who are like, look, Yvette, I've got 80 available apartments. How many people, how many veterans do you have? I'm like, 80. With vouchers and with other SSVF funding. So if this investor can say, okay, bring them on. I'm not looking at credit. I'm not looking at evictions. I'm not looking at previous jobs, anything like that. Nothing. And he could do that. He runs the show. That's his property. He doesn't have to get permission. Where the water gets tainted is when you come across a realtor or property manager, when the property management company already has rules in place. However, there are 2 laws that can protect a veteran with the voucher. Not to have to go through, they can go through it, but it's not to keep them out of housing. So I wrote a book specifically for realtors, and this book was approved by the IDFPR. The class was approved by the IDFPR. Oh, here, let me show y'all this. I got this right here. This is a realtor's blueprint. The Veteran's Path to Home, navigating the journey from homelessness to home ownership. So if you are a realtor, you are an investor, you are a property manager, go get this book. Go get this book right here, and stop telling these homeless veterans no when they're coming to you with a voucher that has been approved by the federal government, 2 departments within the federal government. It's been approved by the VA. It's also in this book. So if you want to work with veterans, you must go download this book right here. This is the federal benefits book for veterans, dependents, survivors, and caretakers. Go to va.gov/get started and read what federal benefits veterans could have if they just apply for them. But you as the advocates, you know what they are. Believe me, trust and believe, because I'm a veteran and I'm still learning about benefits that we have in the community. Coming out of the military at 19 and became a homeless veteran before I was 21. I didn't know anything about these benefits, because when I would go to the VA, they wouldn't tell me anything. They would turn me right back around homeless. So you say you want to house homeless veterans. You want to work in the veterans community, specifically work with homeless veterans. You have to know about the benefits. So get this book. Go to va.gov/get started and download the PDF, print it out, put it in a binder, and read it. No matter what city you're in, you're going to have well, let's go back to state. So we talked about federal. You need to know the federal benefits. Go to your state, to your state's website. My state is Illinois. So I go to the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. So you can go to New Mexico Department of Veteran Affairs, Georgia Department of Veteran, whatever state you're in. These are additional benefits, because these benefits are for the state that you're in. We have federal benefits and state benefits. But I'm not going to stop there, because we also have county benefits. So whatever county you're in, you have additional benefits. So now you've got 3 sectors of the government with benefits for veterans, right? You got the federal, you got the state, you got the county, and then you've got local benefits. These are local to my VA, Jesse Brown VA. They've got groups, they've got different stand downs, they do whatever benefits. So you've got 4 branches of government with benefits that veterans could possibly acquire only if they knew. And because we don't know, and you say you want to be an advocate in this homeless veterans community, then you need to at least know what these benefits are. This is free information. So go get it. Go get the federal, go get it for your state, and go get it for your county, and then go get it for your city. Now, those are benefits. So let's say a veteran comes along with, where's my folder? Okay, he's a homeless veteran, right? And he says, I'm working with an agency and they're paying my rent, which they do. I work with several agencies here in the state of Illinois, which they pay the rent for home back rent for veterans who need their back rent, even their mortgage. I have a veteran who I'm working with, and she said her mortgage was paid for 2 months. So we have these services, these benefits and resources in our community. And as an advocate, you say, I want to house homeless veterans. That's something you're going to have to learn, where these benefits are. Because just because you say you want to house a homeless veteran, what does that mean? Really, what does that mean? First of all, where are these veterans coming from? So you see a lot of them under the bridge. You see a lot of them in tents. You see a lot of them, just like the young lady said, I'm in New Mexico and we have a lot of homeless veterans. Okay, well, go talk to them. Really, go talk to them. Because if this is something you say you want to do, you have to know where these veterans are coming from. To know where you want to take them. I've got a homeless veteran, again, where I started from, Charlottesville, Virginia. Her and her caregiver are in a tent, and they were in a tent when they had a 2-bedroom HUD-VASH voucher. Now, let's say you're in Charlottesville, Virginia. Thank you for joining my club. Let's say you're in Charlottesville, Virginia, and you are an advocate, and you have properties that you want to get rented to veterans. But you're scared to go to a tent. You're scared to go to, I don't know, the forest preserve. You're scared they sleep everywhere, because where else they gonna sleep? So you know about these resources. So now you go, let's say you stumbled up on Sergeant Wolf's tent. And you say, oh, why are you here? What's going on? And she says, I got a 2-bedroom voucher and I just need to find housing. Well, you are an advocate and you are a landlord. And you just happen to have a 2-bedroom voucher, a 2-bedroom house in Charlottesville, Virginia. Well, you know what, ma'am? Because you have a voucher and I have a place, let's go ahead and do some paperwork. We're going to fill out this RTA, that's the request for tenant approval. I'm going to get an application from you, copy your credentials, but you are approved. What law did you just break? I'm asking the question because I already know the answer to it. I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans, and hardly any of them had to do a credit check in order to get approved. And if they did, then that was not an investor I wanted to work with. And definitely not a realtor I did business with. So I had to create my own systems. And over 22 plus years, and still housing homeless veterans to this day from this seat right here. So again, let me see. Somebody has been talking over here on I love your video. Thank you so much. Thank you for shedding light on veteran homelessness. My pleasure. Your experience is unmatched. I know, right? What's changed most in 20 years? I'm out here talking about it publicly because before I wouldn't even come in and talk to anybody about this publicly. Because when I did, I wrote a class for the board back in 2014, 15, 16 is when I was teaching it, to teach realtors how to work effectively with the housing choice voucher. The old Section 8 was what it was called. And oh my God, they gave me so much pushback and so much headache. I mean, I'm like, really? And you guys are supposed to be the professional. I can't work with you. I can't even tell you nothing because you act like you know it all. So if that's the case, continue doing what you're doing. Don't call me because I can't help you. You can't learn. You can't stop doing what you're doing in order to house the people you say shouldn't be homeless with benefits, with federal benefits, with state benefits, with county benefits, with local benefits. But you say we shouldn't have homeless veterans. But you don't want to house them. You don't want to go to where they are. You don't want to have conversations with them. But if you are here and you do want to learn, I want you to say, I want to learn. Just put that in the comments. I want to learn. Virginia, let me see. Virginia. God bless you abundantly. Thank you so much, Virginia. You have me. My first time seeing you. I highly commend you for the outstanding work you are doing for our veterans. I will look into educating myself much more in the future. Thank you so very much. Because we can all do this. And when I learned, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I've got New Mexico want to learn. I've got Georgia want to learn. Thank you guys so much. I want to learn. Jose wants to learn. Thank you guys so much. Because that's I want to learn. Tish, yes. Tish, tell them your story. I housed you 15 years ago, and I'm still here, baby, because we still have homeless veterans who are coming for help, and there's nobody out here who really knows how to help them. But I break the system down where everybody understands their role, and nobody's stepping on anybody's foot whatsoever. Everybody's getting paid. And I'll show you. The government, and this is from the Department of Veteran Affairs. The Department of Veteran Affairs on August 27th released over $818 million in our communities nationwide. I was mentioning New Mexico because I'm dropping a blue pen for New Mexico because all my new states receive a blue pen. All the red pens are the other states. So New Mexico, thank you so much. So New Mexico, you've got three organizations that have received almost $5 million. And what this money is used for, based on the press release that came out, I want to get my real estate license reinstated. Yes. And by you being a veteran, that is free. It's a scholarship. So find that real estate school when you're ready and let me know, and I'll write your recommendation letter, Marlene. So this money, $818 million, in grants went to 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. And this money is to be used on housing, housing counseling, health care, financial planning services, child care, legal assistance, and transportation. Then the government in September said, wait a minute, we have more agencies than this, than the additional agencies to the 235 who applied for these grants with amazing programs. I think I'm going to say that again. These grants of over $900 million went to these organizations because they have programs. So in September, an additional 176 organizations received an additional $84 million. So that's how we came up with the $900 million that's in our community to help house homeless veterans or veterans who are going through transition, who need to go through transition. And as an advocate, because these organizations, I can tell you right now, if you don't know about these organizations, and the reason you don't know about these organizations is because they don't advertise. They don't have billboards on the highway. They don't have signs across the bus. They don't advertise. So if you are not in the veterans community, then you will not know about two-thirds of these organizations, because some of them come out to the events and some don't. But when you buy a book, and I invite you to my private group, I send you this information. And then twice a month, I have a Q&A, and I also am going to start in 2026, a monthly masterclass where I'm going to go over all of this in addition to what you're doing. I'm in the and still don't know because you don't reach out and ask anything, girl. Every week I send out stuff, and I've had for 2 weeks, I've had a Q&A on a Saturday from 10 until 12. I didn't see you in any of those Q&As. None. So, and if you only bought one book, that's not going to be enough either. With all of this information right here, you have to learn it by reading, and then come to the workshop. Send me an email to ask me questions so we can engage. I will be in there next time for sure. Are you getting my email, Sherry? Because I just sent out another email today with this information. So don't let it be one of those things where you're not reading, because if you're not reading, then you're not going to get it. That's the whole thing in learning something new. You're taking yourself back to school. This is a whole education. Now, I've taken several people's, no, ma'am, I just found you. Oh, you did? All right, well, go to my bio and get some books. So there are several different ways, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. There are veterans of all walks of life who need all types of housing. Okay. I didn't even introduce myself. Let me introduce myself. I know some people don't know who I am, and I just came on the market. Not on the market. I've been working. Okay, I've been working inside the VA and inside all the vet centers except for one in the city of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs for 22 plus years. And that's in this book, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide, 3rd edition. And also, I conducted workshops at Cook County Corrections because we have veterans who are being released from incarceration. I even did a workshop at the Federal Bureau of Prisons because they're like, hey, we got veterans in here too, and they don't know what they're going to do when they get out, and we don't either. So I had to come there and do a workshop and then help them find housing where they were being released to. And some of these places were in rural Illinois. So this housing is needed everywhere. So this book, let me show you over here. This book is Innovative Housing Solutions, a Guide to Veteran Shared Living Models. This book came out right here. This book came out top new release in United States military veterans history. This book right here. And it also came out #1 in veterans something on Amazon. So get this book if you say you want to provide the housing for veterans, homeless veterans. You want to do transitional housing, find your model. And I have several models in this book. You say you want to do HUD-VASH. That is your Section 8 housing for homeless veterans. And this is that packet right here. This is from Chicago, but this is the request for tenancy approval packet. And this is the voucher that a lot of veterans receive, which has been approved by 2 branches of departments within the federal government. One being the VA. The VA is telling, yeah, veteran, you can get this voucher based on the intake that we just did on you as, hold on a second, I got that book too, as the social worker. So the social worker sits down with this homeless veteran and say, okay, based on our intake, you qualify. So now we're going to send you, let me do it another way. Oh man, how should I do? Okay, so the veteran, let me get a person. Hold on, please. This is the veteran, right? The veteran goes to talk to a social worker. This is the social worker. Veteran goes to talk to the social worker. The social worker say, hey, you know what? Hold on, where's that book? Okay, the social worker is at the VA. That's what I want to tell you. The social worker is at the VA. So this social worker is working from this book right here, Federal Benefits. And in this book on page 57 talks about HUD-VASH. So now this social worker says, okay, based on our intake, you qualify for Section 8 for the housing choice voucher. And when you go right here is working under the umbrella of HUD. Thank you so much. Is working under the umbrella of HUD, and that's the Housing Urban Development. This social worker right here is working under the federal VA. So now this veteran received 2 approvals, one from the federal VA and one from HUD, in order to get this packet right here, in order to tell this investor or this property management company or this realtor that, hey, I've been given the green light for housing, and my housing is covered under this paper right here. So if my housing is $1,900, then this is what my paper covers, $1,900. And it gets more into detail. But you get into the community and you run up on one of these people right here, who has never read this book, or who closed their ears, or who said, I don't work with homeless people. I don't know how to help them. Right here, this teaches realtors how to do exactly what I do as a realtor. Create a transaction and get a commission. and now you done housed a homeless veteran. That's it. If you can manage all of that just by this conversation, then you don't need any books. But if you cannot manage all of that, you are in Chicago, yes. However, I am nationwide. Yeah, I got an email Friday from Hawaii. I'm like, dude, Hawaii, been there and done that. In this book right here, one moment, please. I got to get to my favorite page. In this book right here, Finding Home. Oh, let me add this asset on here. Finding Home, right? Finding Home. I was a volunteer at the VA conducting workshops. These workshops right here. This book right here is an actual workshop. This is the 3rd edition. So I was at the VA conducting these workshops. At the Vet Center conducting the workshops for 13 years. I started these workshops at the VA like in 20 something, 8. I went to the Vet Center in 2013. So from 2007 to 2012, 2013, or 2012, 07 to 2012, I was doing these workshops just for homeless veterans. Then I started adding on because the veterans were coming to me talking about, I want to buy something. Great. I thought that you have started. Started my mindset to help vet. Oh, you saw me on the news. I was on a lot of news. I'll tell y'all about the one that came out today. So this book right here, 3rd edition Veterans Buying Guide for realists for today's market, is the workshop that I did at the VA, at the vet centers, at the city colleges, Chicago City Colleges, Prairie State College. I mean, just everywhere, at the municipalities, just some everywhere, 22 years, everywhere. So just everywhere. Right here on this page shows the different veteran villages that I created for a few of our townships here in the Chicagoland area. So Finding Home, this is where I was talking to y'all about. I got a message from Hawaii. He said, oh, we have a not-for-profit organization and we would like all of these books are on Amazon. Yes, they're all on Amazon and I don't have a package, nothing. No, I don't have a package. I don't know how to set that up on Amazon. I was trying, but I don't know how to do that. So I got a message from Hawaii. I'm like, isn't that nice? I've been there. In a minute. Let me see. Come on. Uh-oh. Been there. These are resources that were sent to a homeless female Marine in Hawaii, specifically Kauai, Kauai. And these resources helped her get housed. So I started sending out messages like this on social media. If you are a homeless veteran and you need your resources, please contact me. I want to help you get housed. So then Las Vegas came. Las Vegas, a single dad with a 2-year-old daughter, got housed and got his whole apartment furnished through the resources. Akron, Ohio. So Akron, Ohio, and that brings me to the topic that I want to talk to you guys about right now. Akron, Ohio received resources before he even came back to United States of America. He was discharged from overseas where he stayed a few years but never applied for benefits. So now it was time. He's, look, I'm done over here, coming back home. So came on back home to some resources, and now he's able to do more things. But what happened as a result of that, I stayed in touch with that organization who interviewed me, let me see, the interviewer, put it that way, the interviewer's brother was in another country and he needed resources when he returned back to Akron. So I stayed in contact with this organization, and I'm like, yeah, I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. They're getting the word out. They're getting the word out nationally. I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. So I said, listen, I need to talk about homeless veterans, and not just homeless veterans, but the solutions we can do in the community, as long as everybody's on the same page. The roadmap I have for everybody, all of these veterans would be housed with their resources. So they interviewed me. We had a conversation. We did a Zoom, and they're like, if there was one event in every state, we would not have we would not have veterans homeless veterans. I'm like, I know. So now I am the subject matter expert on the Mission Roll Call platform as their subject matter expert, veterans homelessness and housing. I mean, because there's only so much I can do. As long as I can educate the community. And in educating the community, you got to read. It's just that simple. You have to read, and not just one book. Not just one book. This is several classes that you're taking. I've got a master's degree. Do you know how many books it took to complete a master's degree? Yes, a lot of classes. So you say, I just want to house homeless veterans, put them in a room and make my money. Then you go ahead and do that. You're not going to last in this homeless veterans, in this veterans community very long. Just housing homeless veterans, put them in a room. The power that you have in the community, housing homeless veterans, because we get so many benefits. Once we get settled in a place, now we can focus on applying for our benefits. So if you're housing a homeless veteran in your transitional house, then you need to have programs that would, I'm not going to say entitled. I'm not going to use that word. That word came up in my head, but I don't want to give you all some false hope, because you still have to do your homework. If you want me to tell you the answers, then that's the consultation, and you have to pay for that. But not just any funding. I'm going to tell you how you're housing homeless veterans under a program, and I teach you how to create a program in this book. These organizations that receive this $900 million is your funding. They're responsible. I'm going to read it again. The VA awards grants based on a number of factors, including the grant recipient's experience and past performance in providing supportive services to veteran families and the need in the area or community where the program will be based. Throughout the fiscal year 2026, the grants will fund local organizations as they help veterans access housing counseling, healthcare, financial planning. They got to get, we'll go into it. These, I'm telling you, my mind works like a puzzle. So if you like to put puzzles together and then see the big picture, that's what this learning is, because it's not linear at all, because you're dealing with so many different entities. I ain't seen nothing like this in my life. And everybody I talk to about it, they like, Yvette, my head hurt. But as long as you know where the money is, know where the veterans are, and know how to move those veterans from this transition to rental to home ownership, now you're talking. That's how you get on this list, because you're offering transitional housing in a program, and your program is running quite well. And you have a track record of you done move these homeless veterans, because now you know how to find their resources. You're helping them find their resources to find a home. Your program is running so well. The next year, you're speaking to my business partner, because we done set up your program so good. And these veterans are moving from transition to home ownership, coming out of your transitional housing, because your program helped to get them set up with their benefits. And they were able to stay in your transitional housing because they're connected to this money right here that's paying for them to be in your home, that you're running the program that is in conjunction with this money right here. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I don't know even how else to say it. And this money right here has nothing to do with this money right here. These are two separate buckets of money. So you've got 3 buckets of money right here. 235 organizations, 176 organizations, and HUD-VASH. So you want to tell me you are an investor and you have vacant properties and you say, I want to rent to help homeless veterans. How can I do that? Learn where they are. I was with SSVF before going to HUD-VASH. Hallelujah. Home first. So you were with the housing first. The vet social I attend complain about this, and most of them are 100% permanent and total. The vet social workers I attend, what? I don't know. Write in complete sentences so I'll know what you're saying, because I want to know. Almost 400, it's 411 organizations on these 2 funding sources right here. So over here on, I've been on for an hour yet. No, I got another 15 minutes over here. 8 minutes on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I want to thank y'all for being here. If you have not started following my page, please do so. And I want you guys to write this down. Go to Mission Roll Call's website and go read my first article on homelessness. It's my story, like my coming out, how I got here. You know, I've been through some rough patches, but I got here. Every 2 years, I can use SSVF to pay for a deposit. Almost 4. It depends. So I'm not going to say yes. It depends. Trust and believe. We have some organizations here that based on their contracts, and they have to put, you know, in their contracts exactly what they are offering, and their like their business plan, the standard operating procedures, and how they're going to run their organization. So some of them, this one organization here, and I sent out letters to several, and they went back in the COC and said, oh, he already used that benefit 5 years ago. So some of these benefits are not every 2 years, unless you're in your fancy. My website is fancy. Thank you. So some of these benefits are not. Oh, I was saying, if you are already in one of these SSVF organizations and you have to renew, they have to do a, they have to sit down with you to make sure you qualify. So you have to qualify every however many months or years. But I had one guy, his name was Guy. Like your mama named you Guy. That's so cool. He was in one of the SSVF programs for 4 years and then bought a house. And they were paying his rent to my investor where I moved him for 4 years. So you have to check to see what those organizations, if they do pay that again and again. Don't count on that though. It was an ask to get what I need. I know, but so far so great. I've been housed in my spot. Hallelujah. Thank you so much. So how do I earn commission? By creating a transaction. Let me show you how that looks. Hold on. Where's my person? Where you go, girl? Okay, so I have a homeless veteran right here, right? Oh, she's green. Let me get yellow, pink. Let me get a green so you can see against my coat. So I have a homeless veteran right here. I said, no, I need my voucher. Oh my goodness. Who-wee. I don't know. You know what? You got to go see a social worker at Homeless Walk-In. Yeah. You got to go through their checklist in order to find out if you qualify for that voucher. And can I use my house under HOA? Girl, you better find, I don't know, propaganda. You have to talk with, and that's in the book. That is in the book right here. In order to receive government money, when it's time to receive that money, you have to do everything according to law. You cannot skip over anything at all. So I'm telling you, somebody asked me, how do I get my commissions? How do realtors, put it that way, how do realtors get paid housing homeless veterans? First of all, they want to know, they have to know this, think this is part of the problem. What is? You just said a sentence. I don't know. Yes, I've been. Okay, so are you, my case manager checks in once a month. So you're housed right now, Alexis? And then I'm going to tell you how realtors get paid. So you have a homeless veteran, and the homeless veteran has access to these resources. The case manager said, okay, Yvette, we're going to pay for this veteran's housing for 2 years, but they have to qualify every 6 months. Okay, so I tell the investor, hey, I got a homeless veteran who's working with this program, one of these housing sources, SSVF funding sources, and they're going to pay for their rent for up to 2 years. Yvette, have you worked with them before? Yeah, because I worked with all of them in Chicago. Yeah. Okay, well, how's the veteran? Cool to me. I don't work with crappy people. So the veteran is cool with me. Okay, well, send me over the stuff. All right. Application, your ID to prove that you are a veteran. You have driver's license, state ID. What is your income? Let me go ahead and get a copy of that and contact the organization. Okay, we got a lease. You want the W-9? Yep. Move-in date? Check. How much is the rent? Check. All right, so he's moving in. As the realtor, I do the lease and all the disclosures. Veteran moves in with some of this money. Every single month is being paid to that investor. I send that investor an invoice, and that investor pays the real estate company that my license is hanging with. Over and over. I get paid once, but I can do this over and over again, resulting in housing over 5,000 homeless veterans. And this can be done across the country. Just stop, with the blocks and everybody. You give a veteran a voucher, a HUD-VASH voucher. Okay, you give a veteran a HUD-VASH voucher and say, okay, go on out in the community and try to find yourself someplace to live. And then you go to one of these realtors and they're like, are you homeless? I can't help you because don't nobody want to listen to them. You homeless? Well, we need to do a credit check. We need to do a background check. We need to check out where you live now. My investor, he wants all of that before you can see anything. Or come and see it. And if you like it, then we'll do a credit check, a background check, I mean, you already denied this veteran who has already been approved by the VA and HUD. But you want to put in your 2 cents to your investor and say, I think we need to do this. Now, and I don't tell realtors what to do. They can do whatever they want to do if that's what they think they should do. Otherwise, get the book and read to learn how to really house homeless veterans with the benefits that they've been approved by the government. These are our benefits. Our benefits are awarded to veterans because we signed the dotted line, not you. We did. And now when we come to the community for help, you want to put a block on that because you don't know what to do. Shame on you. So go to my library and buy some education. And I am putting together 2 master classes, one for investors and realtors, and one for just realtors. Oh, mackerel. So go to Mission Roll Call. I'm going to stay here. Go to Mission Roll Call and read my first article that came out today and leave a message. Think this is, I don't know what Simon was talking about, but I want to thank you all for being here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. If you have not started to follow me, please do so. And also go to my bio and get some books. Get some education. I have a private group. And when I invite you, when I send you an email to tell you I'm having a Q&A, I'm having a master class, jump on board, because otherwise you're not going to know what you're doing. You're not going to know what you're doing. So it's a remarkable place to be. I want to thank you all for being here. I'll see y'all tomorrow over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook tomorrow at 5:15 p.m. Central. That's 17:15.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.